Look what we've got. Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Christine and I am on a journey of many things around fitness, mental, spiritual, physical, all the things. And today we're going to be losing 5 pounds together. And if you have no idea what this is or what I'm doing, make sure you check out my previous videos. Short explanation is every time I lose a pound, I want it to represent more of what I'm letting go of this year rather than the actual number on the scale. As much as that means something, these things mean more. So I'm not going to go on and on. It has been way too long that there's been a video. You're going to see by my demeanor. Forgive me ahead of time. I am exhausted, but I could not let this go any longer without posting this video. So let's just jump right into it. So I believe the last time that we were together, I posted a video, whatever, again, exhausted. I was 271 and I weighed in this morning at 266. It has been a journey the last couple weeks. We have been very busy with a lot of house things going on, house things not going on. My birthday just passed, just a lot of a mini roller coaster going on, but we did some locking in and we are at 266. So we're going to pull 5 of these out today. Let's see what the first one is. Ooh, this is similar to one that I read in my first week, I believe. I'm sure a lot of these will be similar, but that's okay. Fear of disappointing others. That's something that we're going to let go of this year. Actually, I've talked to a lot of people about this sort of attitude specifically. I guess in the aspect of when I walk away from a conversation or interaction, that I'm kind of just letting that go. If somebody has a disappointment or is hurt or whatever it is by something, then they can come to me. And I've always been welcoming of conversation. I'm not good with conflict of my own, but like I think I've been pretty good at accountability and having a conversation and all that kind of stuff. So I'm leaving that up to be the main thing that happens rather than holding on to that fear of disappointing somebody. It is definitely something that I've carried for a really long time. We're going to disappoint people in our lives, and I think that's going to happen whether you fear it or not, and you're just adding extra worry onto you. I think there's even a verse out there that talks about how worrying doesn't add a single hour to your life. You'll have to put that in the comments if you know which verse that is. And so I think if you can just act accordingly to what is in your heart and your spirit and what you're led by God to do, and just give people the opportunity to have conversations if there are disappointments that are brought up, rather than constantly carrying it, let it go. I think it's better to let go. So I think I'm actually on my path to doing that this year, and I'm excited to let it go. Woo! Went right into my broth here. I hope I can eventually get a video up of what I've been doing meal plan wise, and bone broth is part of my nighttime routine. So we'll just take a sip before we continue. I also don't feel great, so that feels very nice. All right, number 2. I had to think about what this meant for a second, but I think I've got it. Old timelines. Yeah, that's a tough one, especially because your body changes so much from many different phases of life, from younger teenage years to older, your priorities change. And so I know that like my timelines for setting goals for myself used to be like the sooner the better. The better I can, the quicker that I can receive progress, the quicker that I can see results, the better. And I did not give myself any timeline at all, and I absolutely fell into burnout quite often. And actually it is another thing that I'm working on. We obviously are so desperate to get in a house, but it's funny when I say to people, oh, we're building a house, like you almost think like, wow, like we've gotten to the point where we can save money and build a house, and that's not exactly the case. We are just slowly but surely trying to get to that point. We're attempting to, work out certain loans, or just like it might be a paycheck house. That might be something that we do where we're just slowly building little by little. whatever it takes. But anyway, I'm gonna get off on a rant here because I'm so tired. But we have been talking about just keeping the ball rolling. And that's all we can do is every day giving it to God and being aligned with his timeline. And we're just going to make sure we're doing our part to keep the ball rolling, where, getting certain projects worked on. Notice I didn't say done, but worked on, making sure we're moving every single day while keeping the priorities of family and relationships and all that kind of stuff. But taking off our own personal timelines. We know that God has good plans for us, and we know that he wants us in a home, and we're just going to keep leaning on him for that. And obviously I talked more about that than like my physical journey and timelines, but it goes hand in hand. The same thing with my my body, where I desperately wish that I could snap my fingers and just like be where I want to be physically, but in the end that doesn't help anybody. It actually has done me more harm than good to push timelines. So anyway, I know I rambled there, but letting go of timelines is absolutely something that I'm going to work on and continue to work on this year. I feel like this one is so similar to the last, but we'll see what we can touch on as far as it goes. Oh, it's a little crinkly. Can you see it? It says the need to fix everything at once. So I feel like that's similar to the timelines, but I guess more it's like not worrying about having my hand in every single thing at the same time. Funny enough, there's a lot of things about me physically that like I would get really upset about. I don't know if you can notice, I would love to like smile big, but I've learned to just like pretty much keep my mouth small, because I'm not missing a tooth, but I'm not even gonna go into the story. You can see that one of my teeth is out of line with the rest of my mouth. And so that's something that, that's bothered me. My calves are bigger than I wish they were. I've tried to work on that. Working on my skin, working on all these other things that like, it really just gets to the point of overwhelm when you add it to your house and daily life and living. So working on one thing at a time, rather than having the need to fix everything at once. Gives you the chance to, we talked about this recently in my friend group, like our Bible study fellowship group, giving each moment the time that it deserves. And so I feel like when you're not worrying about trying to fix everything at once, you can do that. So that's a good thing. So we're going to let go of that one. That's 3 gone, 2 to go. Ooh, I don't want to talk about this one. Oh, haven't learned this one yet. Can you see it? The lie that gentle means weak. Now, it's not that I think gentle means weak. It's just, I don't know. I've never known how to be gentle while still balancing, like pushing towards my goals. Like I can't compute. And I'm not going to try to make something up to tell you, to even advise you on, to share wisdom about, because I have zero of it. I still cannot compute the balance. I'm learning it. I really am trying, and I'm getting there. Some days I think maybe I understand it more than others, but what does gentleness really look like? Especially, can it be paired with discipline? Can gentleness be paired with discipline and goals? I haven't cracked that one yet, and I'm not gonna be dishonest about it, but that's one I will let go. I will let that go somehow. So maybe I haven't answered the how, but I can still let it go. You guys are going to have to help me with this one in the comments. Last one before I fall asleep on camera. Getting a theme here tonight, I think. It says, I should be further along. Man, it goes with timelines and I was just talking to my husband about this, that it's so hard when you've been on a journey for over 20 years, when this sort of stuff has been relevant since you were under 10. It's hard not to look back and look at what could have been. What if I had done this differently? What if I had acted this way? What if I had accomplished this sooner? I wish I was further than I am. I should be further than I am. It's really hard to not think that. But it's really important to instead look at actually how far you've come. I think when we look at what we haven't accomplished, it's easy to think that way. But if you look at what you have accomplished, it's a little bit easier to get out of that sort of thinking. So I'm going to continue to do that. I know that for my journey with my anxiety and everything else, I've been forced into that almost, because for months I couldn't do certain things, drive, have a certain conversation, look at the outside while it wasn't light out. It was pretty humbling, to say the least, during that time. And I constantly was like, how has this much time passed and I still feel like an infant? But I was very lucky to have loved ones encourage me and help me look at and recognize the little steps that had been made. So that's my little tidbit for today. Let's take a deep breath. Those are the 5 things that we are going to let go of in representation of our pounds, and eventually she'll be empty. So I hope you stuck around. I know I'm not all animated and engaging, but that's just not what this is about. And if any of this meant anything to you, awesome. If not, it means something to me, and I'll be looking forward to looking back on it. I hope to have more of our ground up workouts posted soon, and hopefully I will be on time for these updates. But guess what? I'm not treating myself the same way I did in the past. So hopefully you'll see me when you see me. Until next time, bye.